Well, home should be a haven for every member of the family, but sometimes it seems more like a battleground.
Everybody wants to have a happy family, but arguments, hurt feelings, and even exhaustion can make home a hard place to live. Psychologist Dr. Kevin Leman believes that any family can find and maintain happiness. He says all it takes is better communication, respect, and a little teamwork. In his new book, Have a Happy Family by Friday, Dr. Leman says you can learn to do that in just 5 days.
Welcome back to the 700 Club. Dr. Kevin Leman, it's always wonderful to have you here. A new book.
A new book, a new Friday book.
A new Friday book. Actually, you say 5 days, but tomorrow's Friday. Is there any chance we can at least see a little improvement?
You know, I said it with have a new kid by Friday, have a new husband by Friday. All the Friday books are scams because it doesn't take 5 days. And, you know, we look at families today and they're anything but happy. But, you know, we're the parents. And one of the main points in this book is change the words you use with those you love, and you change that relationship. It's just not about rules.
Yeah.
You know, Jesus, I mean, I'll pull the big card out. Jesus came to this earth to put an end to religion.
Yes.
It's not about rules. It's about relationship. So in families, you know, when kids come home, what do? We grill kids. How was your day today at school, honey? Fine. What'd you do in school today? Nothing. Teenager, where you been? Oh, what'd you do? Nothing. Kids hate questioning.
Yes.
Husbands hate questions. For every woman watching, put away the questions and don't use the Y word. Men hate the Y word. Kids hate the Y word.
Yeah.
They come home, they go to the room, they slam and click the door, and they text their buddies like a mad woodpecker that's got ADHD.
Yeah.
And they shut us as parents out of their life.
So how do we open that door and come into their space? You share some really wonderful, very specific stories in the book. But for people who maybe have been doing all the wrong stuff, how do we switch that out?
You have to think differently. You can think your way to behavioral change. There's a great example in the book where a kid, 14 years old, comes to the dinner table and announces that he's the proud owner, half owner, in a motorcycle. And his friend's older brother suckered him into giving him $200 to be part owner. Well, the old man hears this. What does he say? What did you do? What, you don't have a brain in your head? What is wrong with you? You're 14 years old. You don't even have a driver's permit. You know, are you stupid or what? The kid leaves the table in tears, doesn't talk to his dad for 3 days. Dad calls me, says, Kevin, what do I do? I said, well, first of all, you owe your kid an apology.
Yeah.
He says, me an apology? I said, yeah, you acted like a 4-year-old. And so he goes, he apologizes, he says these words, tell me about the bike.
Yeah.
And he says, Kevin, you know, I was just impressed with how much my kid knew about bikes.
The dad didn't even know that he knew.
So the dad took the kid on a tour where they make the bikes. He said, tell you the truth, I've been tuned out of my kid's life for 3 years.
Wow.
And this is what happens with families. And I call it the perfect storm because you got kids who are breaking away, they're pubescents and adolescents, whatever, you know, that stage, okay? And then you parallel that with teenagers, adolescents, who are growing up in an unraveling culture, but they're empowered with technology like you and I have never seen before. Now, the third part of that perfect storm is parents who have their own issues, have their own full plate, and you got a doozy of a storm on your hands, and it's tearing families apart.
Yeah. But you talk so much about not just words, but communication, not just what we say, but the fact that we even make that effort to step into their world.
You know what?
It can change things.
One of the best things you can say to your kid. Now, I'm the one that says don't ask your kids questions to begin with. Don't ask them questions. But listen to this semi-question. Honey, can I ask your opinion about something? Now, when you say that to a kid, especially the middle child, by the way, I want to go on record, a middle child has never heard those words, honey, what do you think we ought to do?
In their lifetime.
In their lifetime, you know. So what you say is, I value what you think.
Yeah.
And so I would say, make the home, just like the Lemans did, the center point of the kids' lives, feed the neighborhood, buy the pizza, and have fun.
It's an investment in your entire future and your child's.
We do a cruise once a year. This year I do it with Luis Palau and Dennis Swanberg and Sherry Kagi. We go down to the Caribbean. I'm speaking in a church. And here's my pitch to people in churches. We'd love to have you come on the cruise if you're a fun person, if you're a fun couple. If you're not, we prefer you stay home. You know, I really believe that the family ought to have fun. Our 27-year-old daughter this summer celebrated her birthday. Said, Hannah, what would you like to do for your birthday? Dad, I'd like to have a parade. Now, people aren't going to believe it. A parade. The Leman tradition is, if you want a parade on your birthday, you can have one. But everybody's got to put on a silly hat. We put on Disney electric parade music on our jukebox. We put on funny hats. We have spatulas with pans, and we parade. I have video of it.
Where do you parade? Like in your neighborhood?
No, in our house, through our house.
I was going to say, that could clear out the neighborhood.
So we have but 5 adult kids and 2 parents who are near death, and we're doing the parade. But it's a fun, and I think if you know the living God, there ought to be evidence in your life that you have joy.
Yeah.
So
and that you do it together. Talk a little bit about the value of teamwork in a family.
Well, it's missing in America because parents do everything for kids. They're knocking themselves out trying to be their child's best friend, and they want to give them things. And Sandy and I, Mrs. Uppington and I, have done a great job in not giving our kids things. We gave them love, affirmation, discipline, and I take great pride in saying publicly we haven't given them squat diddly jack. And they all worked, and they all gave back to the family. Anybody who grew up on a farm never needs to read
that's the truth.
A Dr. Kevin Leman book, because what you learn on the farm is invaluable.
Will you talk for just a minute also, because you address this in the book, and I think it's also a malady in today's families, about busyness.
Oh, it's crazy. Our next guest, Dr. Kevin Leman from Tucson, Arizona, says activities are harmful for children. Stay with us after this commercial break. We'll bring the nut on to talk about it. You know, activities, one activity per kid, per semester is plenty. But you got parents who have kids in everything under the sun. In fact, I have a chapter in one of my books called Help, I'm a Cabbie and my SUV isn't even yellow. And we run kids from pillar to post. And where's their time for a couple to be a couple? We made the tragic mistake, Terry, of bringing kids up to feel like they're the center of the universe. If kids are the center of the universe in your home, where is the room, any room, for Almighty God in the kid's life? I can answer that question. I'm not very smart. There's no room.
Well, and when we keep them as busy as we often do, we don't really have time with them, which is what our children want from us, isn't it?
Time is a huge thing, and we all have the same amount of time to deal with. And for the poor single parent, I'll tell you, my heart goes out to that single parent. She or he has to be consistent, has to be predictable. Remember, the mundane is good for kids. The predictability of what we do in our family is important.
Here's how we do this. Listen, tomorrow is Friday, and you probably can't engage in all of these bits of advice before them, but you can get the book. It's called Have a Happy Family by Friday, and it's filled with wonderful sound information for you as a parent. It's available wherever books are sold. Thank you. You always bring a great word to us.